story with Lightning Strikes Comics. It started back in 2016, when the world wasn't as, when the world was a much easier time. No, but seriously, it started in 2016, when I first discovered my first Phantom comic. The Phantom issue number 1761 was first published in 2016 by Few Publications. And years after, I hadn't heard of Lightning Strikes Phantom comics, as I was just starting my collection of the Phantom comics. And even before I didn't know who Lightning Strikes comics were, I hadn't even heard of... Now, we're getting serious here. I hadn't even heard of Chronicle Chamber, or I haven't even knew about the Phantom. Now, how big for myself to not even know who the Phantom was before this. Now, this is 2016, and obviously I'm still very, very young, and not even know what the Phantom is, not even know who he is, not even know how he is, not even the 80-year-old history. Yes, in 2016 the Phantom turned 80 years old, and I discovered the Phantom on his 80th anniversary, which was it just should have been the time I discovered it. Just should have been the time I discovered the Phantom. And it was. And I think the first thing I remember hearing to do with a special event, I think that was at the same year. I think the first thing I remember hearing to do with the special event that I didn't even know existed yet was Supernova Sydney. The first year I heard of Supernova Sydney was in 2017, and I went to it primarily to see a Few Publications, and I was so excited. I was so excited to see my favourite artist, Antonio Lemons, and on that time that I saw him, and I went to Supernova Sydney, he actually drew me a sketch cover, which I still think is one of the best things that I have in my collection, because it's the Phantom, but he's waving at me. Yeah! How good was it? How good is it? Which, Antonio Lemons is still number one in my books. For that reason, he's still number one for my books. He still does a lot of great Phantom artworks, a lot of great Phantom covers, and I could go on and on and on about how great he is. But in the meantime, we fast forward to 2019, where I again went to Supernova Sydney. Hasn't he changed? Hasn't he changed? And in Supernova Sydney, I went to Few Publications booth. Hasn't he changed? And I happened to stumble across something I hadn't seen before, what would turn out to be issue 4 from Lightning Strikes Comics. And I've got it here for you today. Yes, Bradley Kelly has something special for Phantom fans to look at. Isn't he good? Okay. This is the Lightning Strikes Phantom comic, issue number 4, and I got this in 2019 from Supernova Sydney, from Few Publications booth, and I think back in 2019, I don't think I knew how sought after these comics were going to be. Obviously, I've only got one of the issues from Lightning Strike Comics, and I didn't even know there was 3 others until a couple of years later on, when Few Publications would be selling them on their website. And seriously, I didn't get any of those issues. I was not fast enough. The fast enough did not get quickly on. And also, in that same year, Jeff Weigel. I saw Jeff Weigel was there, and I remember buying one of his prints, which happens to be in the background, which is still very, very awesome to this day. he also happened to sign my 80th Phantom anniversary book, which after those years, I got a lot of signatures with that in that book, and I've actually hasn't he got even more stuff? Has he got even more stuff? Yes, he has, because I've got the book right here, and there is Jeff Weigel's signature just there, if you can see it. There is Jeff Weigel's signature just there. And I'll take a picture. As well, and I think that in 2019, when I got that signature from Jeff Weigel, I was very, very excited for it. I had been a Phantom fan for 3 years straight. 3 years straight. He hadn't taken a break. 3 years straight. And I was so excited. I get so very goddamn excited when Supernova Sydney comes. And for me to get a signature of Jeff Weigel and to also get a print from him personally, I think that was very, very big. And fast forward to a few more years into the future, yes, we're going back to the future. And I would send a email to Lightning Strikes Comics to see if I could make a PDF they sent me into a video about a certain comic I say into audio mode, much like audiobooks you can listen to on the internet or from the Audible, but with images. Yay! And if you haven't watched that video just yet, there'll be some sort of card up here. I think there was 3 parts to that video, and I published all 3 of those within, every week. I think I was publishing a part of the Scarlet Sapphire series, and from that book, obviously. And I was publishing it, and I thought it was just one of the biggest moments of me being able to have a PDF. Having a PDF, I didn't even think, like when I was emailing Lightning Strikes Comics, I didn't even think it was going to be possible that I was going to be able to get a PDF of a book and from a series that's so sought after by Phantom collectors all around the world that I didn't even think was going to stand a chance. I thought they were going to say, "Oh yeah, can't do that. Sorry, mate." But no, they actually gave me a PDF of the actual book. Like every single page is on that PDF, and obviously I can't really show it to anyone. I can't even share it to anyone. But because I made a video on it, I then sent that video in another email to them, and they must have liked it, because if they didn't like it, they'll probably ask me to take it down. But they obviously liked it, and kudos to Lightning Strikes Comics for letting me do that, because it was just I didn't even, for starters, as I'm going to say again, I didn't even think it was going to happen. I didn't even think the video was going to even get started. And it was just an idea that I threw out there, and it happened. Somehow it happened. Maybe I'm just a genuinely good bloke. I know I'm a good bloke.